Hello everyone, I'm Pooja Soni. Today we were going to learn CSS positioning in 10 simple steps. CSS positioning is very important part in designing any web page. The overall look of the page always depends on the proper positions of the div tags. A proper website is made up of many div tags with exact proper positions. After learning this tutorial, you were able to design your own website. So focus on the simple steps. So, without wasting time, let's get started. This is the demo page for learning positioning. It has header, footer and main content area. I had also made subarea 1, subarea 2 and subarea 3 in main content area. If you want to download this demo page, then the link is given in the description box below. The first positioning property is static positioning. The simplest static positioning is just a default positioning of a browser. Hence, it is not necessary to write a static property in CSS, as the position of the box is taken as default only by the browser. For example, in our div's main area, let's put position is to static. You can see it had not affected the view. Even by removing this property, it is not going to affect the browser. Good job, first step done. In short, static is just a default positioning. Second, relative positioning. Let's suppose you want to move this main area from this current position. So what you need to do? You just have to write position is to relative. After that, specify the side you want to move. Top, right, bottom, left. I want to move from top 50 pixel and from left minus 30 pixel. You can see the effect. Nice. Second step done. In short, relative positioning is used to move the box from its position using property left, right, top, bottom. Third, absolute positioning. Here, element is removed from the document and will be placed where you tell it to go. For example, in subarea 1, let's put a position to be absolute. You can see that subarea 1 is ready to move. You can also look that subarea 2, subarea 3 and footer adjust itself upward as the element is completely removed from the current position. Now let's put subarea 1 at the top right. That is, top is to 0 and right is to 0. Let's give a width of 234 pixel. You can see the effect. Hats off to you. Third step completed. Absolute position removes element and placed where you tell it to move. Fourth, relative position and absolute position. If we will give a relative position with absolute position, then the element will be placed relative to the defined element. For example, if I want to place subarea 1 relative to the main area, then you just need to write something like this. In div main area, position is to relative. You can see the effect. Congrats! Fourth step is also done. If you will define relative positioning with absolute positioning, then the element will be placed relative to the defined element. Fifth, 2-column absolute. We can also make a 2-column layout with relative and absolute positioning. let's give absolute position to subarea 2. That is, in subarea 2, position is to absolute. And put it on top left. That is, top is to 0 and left is to 0. I'm giving a width of 234 pixel. Now you can see the effect. Congratulations! You had learned half methods of positioning. Hats off to you. 6th, to column with absolute height. You can see here that by using two absolutes, the footer and subarea 3 adjusts itself upward, which makes our page really dirty. So the thing which we can do here is to give some height to the main area. I'm giving a height of 280 pixel. Now page is looking proper than before. But this can be used only for temporary purpose where there are limited text. Otherwise, the page can become more messy and dirty because as the text will increase, it can go below the footer area. Something like this. It's done. 6th step over. Congrats again. 7th, float. You can see that for different height columns, absolute positioning will not work. Hence, we can use another position property, which is float. To properly fit the space, we can give width to the subareas. Let's give width to subarea 1 to be 200 pixel. And let's place it to the right by giving it float is to right property. You can see that the text is wrapped beautifully. 7th step is also over. Big hats off to you. You came a long way. 8th, float columns. You might have seen in absolute positioning that if we will put both subareas in right side, then one subarea hides the another one. Hence, to solve that problem, you can use here float. You can also give float is to right to two columns. You can see here that it is working perfectly without hiding any subarea. Hence done. Great work. Just 2 more steps to become an expert in CSS positioning for designing your web page. 9th, float columns with clear. You had seen in 8th step that the subarea 3 looks uneven due to the use of floats. With clear is to both property, no floating elements allowed on the left or right side. So in subarea 3, let's give clear is to both. As no floating elements were allowed in left or right side, you can see that the page is now looking very nice. Excellent job. Just one more step ahead. 10th, fixed positioning. An element with position is to fixed property always stays at the same place even when the page is scrolled. Just like absolute positioning, here also, element is removed from the document and will be placed where you tell it to go. The top, right, bottom and left properties are used to position the element. Let's suppose I want to have a fixed footer. The only thing which I need to do is to give a property in div foot of position is to fixed. Let me give a width to be 100%. And we all know that footer always stays at the bottom. Hence, let's give bottom is to 0. the footer had taken its position. You can see that after scrolling, the footer stays at its own fixed place. And that's it. You had learned all the 10 steps in CSS positioning. A big heads off and congratulations. If you have any doubt or comment regarding this tutorial, feel free to mention in the comment box below. Now, you are able to design your own layout in your web page. A bright future ahead. Thank you. And to learn more web development tutorials, don't forget to subscribe.